everybody, so today I have a video on me painting my Cruiser D.va gun. A little bit about this gun. I got this gun commissioned and made by Mark Tuttle. Mark Tuttle is an amazing prop maker here in Austin, Texas. He's originally from San Diego, California, but he makes some amazing items. Definitely go ahead and check him out. His Instagram is Mark_Tuttle. He's always accepting commissions. If he's full, he'll definitely tell you, but he makes some really great stuff. I had him actually print this out for me. He primed it and sended it for me, so it was super awesome. I told him that I wanted to paint it because I am an artist. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I had him go ahead and just do that for me, and he offered to sand it and prime it for me. So I actually started painting this with just acrylic paint because at the time I did not own an airbrush gun or didn't want to go through the whole spray painting. So yeah, and this took me a really long time, guys. This is part one of the video. And by the way, if you guys see my microphone there in the camera, it's because I was actually streaming this on Twitch. You guys can go follow me at Rosie's Life on Twitch, and yeah. But anyway, this is made on a 3D printer, and I am going off of the reference photo for the Cruiser, the Cruiser D.va gun. Excuse me. So this was a very tedious process just because I had to go into every little crevice and change different colors. Right now we're only doing the blues, and I had to go and make sure that I matched the blues correctly. If you look at reference images for this Cruiser D.va gun, there are many different out there. There are some that people actually drew and printed, just kind of how they think it looks. I actually went and physically looked at how they look in images from the game. So, of her holding her gun, looked at different angles. I even tried looking at like drawings of actual like just in general her overlays, pretty much her little, yeah, her skins, sorry. There we go. I went to go look at the actual skins by Blizzard because I wanted to see, how does this gun look? What are the actual colors? And this is the closest I got to. So there was one issue I came across, and it's this portion I'm painting right now. So I was actually trying to do matte colors on the entire gun, but I did not realize that when I purchased this paint, it was not a matte color. It's actually a glossy color. So I thought it was supposed to dry and it was going to look matte just like the blue, but that did not happen. So what I ended up doing is I just kind of dealt with it. I was thinking, alright, well, I'm going to have to add a gloss to this at the end anyway, so I'm going to have to make do with what I got. But what made it super hard is having a gloss paint. You know, when you're using matte, it makes it super tough for it to go on the brush a lot easier. I thought, hey, maybe it's an old paint or something, but it actually was the consistency. So what sucked is this paint had to go into many tiny little crevices, and when I was trying to go into those crevices, no matter how thin my paintbrush was, it would always grab a giant gloop of paint. There definitely was a lot of areas where I had to go back and touch up, but there was a lot of this glossy gray in there. There was a glossy gray that I got, and then there was also like a dark gray, almost black color that I used as well. So if you're planning on doing a Cruiser D.va, just cosplay in general, a lot of people tend to use the regular original D.va gun and then paint it to look like the Cruiser D.va gun. But in reality, the gun is actually completely different. And that's mainly why I wanted a commission. So when I reached out to Mark, he was very, very helpful on helping me find a proper file for this. There is areas that are very fragile, especially because it is 3D printed. Like the spikes in the front of the gun are super fragile, so there is a certain way I have to set the gun, and I have to make sure that I don't store it in a very dangerous area. It's definitely always in plain sight for me. But like I said, I just felt so much better getting it commissioned, and I'm very, very glad that I got it commissioned. So this is where the light gray portion is coming. It's like a light gray. Yeah, this one was a light gray. There was a light gray and a dark gray. So this light gray goes in many of the areas. Some of these areas looked kind of silver in the picture, but I decided to do this light gray color first. Um, and then I was thinking, hey, maybe I could spray paint it later on. I'm not sure because there's like shine in some areas, but other times there's not shine. So I didn't really know what to do. So this is just what I did to start. That just continues on for a little bit. I don't remember how long this gun took me, but I think I started this, it was around 8:30 p.m. and I think I finished my first part of this gun. I think it was around 3:30 in the morning. I would say this gun might have taken me anywhere from 10 to 15 hours total. Mm, yeah, I think with touch-ups. Because if you can tell, there are many little crevices in there. Also, guys, even though the actual plastic is white, there are areas of this gun that you will have to paint white because if you think about it, when a gun is 3D printed, there is going to be many areas that will still have the plasticky look. You don't want to have that look, which is why I also added the acrylic paint to continue with the matte look that I had started with. I was super proud of this gun, and I am still super proud of this gun. This is the first ever prop that I have painted. I kind of just told Mark, hey, can you print this out for me? And I will totally go ahead and paint it myself. He asked me if I was sure because he does also do airbrushing. And I was like, I am 100% sure I want to paint this. And I just went for it. I will encourage you guys, if you guys have the patience to do something like this, definitely never be afraid to get something commissioned like this and paint it yourself. Or even make it yourself. If you're confident enough to do the craftsman of it, definitely do it and paint it yourself. There are many different ways that you can paint: acrylic paint, airbrush, uh, I don't even know what else, spray paint, there we go. But there are many different ways to do it. Acrylic was just the easiest and the cheapest for me. As you can tell, the paints are just regular acrylic paint from Walmart. Costing me about 50 cents a bottle, and I only needed, did I need one? Yeah, I technically only needed one, but I bought two just to be safe of the blue, which was technically I thought was going to be the biggest area. I feel like the colors are pretty spread out. There's quite a bit of gray in there though. The barrel, guys. So the barrel normally has to be orange when you're going to conventions. I did not want to paint it orange, especially because I was like, I paid for this commission. Orange is going to make it look like a Nerf gun. I don't want that look. I was very afraid because this gun was actually for PAX South. PAX South has some very heavy weapon rules, and I was very concerned that they were going to make me put washi tape on it. So that was the second option. I actually ended up purchasing orange washi tape off of Amazon just in case to go ahead and tape around the barrel. That is a good way to not have to ruin your gun, especially for pictures. So I went ahead and just bought the orange washi tape just in case. I will say though, when I took this to PAX South, they had no issues with it at all because it does not look like a real gun. It is obviously a video game gun, and it looks like it's definitely created for a video game, which I was super happy that they only made me zip tie around the handle and I didn't have to do that orange washi tape. But that is an option. If you guys are ever doing a gun like this that you know maybe can get flagged, always consider buying washi tape as an option so you don't have to paint it. I don't guarantee that a con will let you with washi tape though. All cons are different. Some cons will actually require you to have an actual plastic orange barrel. Some will need you to have it painted. Some will just not allow weapons in at all. So definitely read con rules before taking any type of weapon into a convention because they tend to be very strict. I have seen some very realistic type weapons on the floor, but mostly all of them always have the orange like knob barrel thing. So just a little FYI. So this is where I needed to do all of that white. In the camera, it might look like it's super white because of the 3D printed plastic being white, but in reality, up close, there was still a look to it that said this is definitely 3D printed. So I went in and I painted every little area white. This was super tough because I had to wait for everything else to dry and then I had to go over all these pieces, going into the little creases, making sure that I covered up any paint that I accidentally got onto the white areas, and that took me quite a bit of time. Like I said, this is going to take a lot of patience. You might have to do it within a couple of days if you decide to do something like this. If you have not as much patience as I do, I did do this within 2 days. This video itself was all in one sitting though. Part 2 will be coming pretty soon, and that was the day after this. So pretty much I'm just going in and around all of the edges to make sure that all the paint, all the plastic is painted right now. There is definitely areas I'm gonna have to go back and cover. Right now I'm doing underneath. There's little areas. Sorry, my cat again is passing by as always in my voiceovers. But yeah, so see the front there has white on the side as well, and you could totally tell that there was areas I definitely need to go back on, especially up at the top there. I will say if you see the little D.va cursive on the other side, if you've seen it, I did have to go in there with a little tiny brush and try my best to paint the lettering. This part was really hard. As you can tell, I'm going back and I'm repainting areas blue again. It's actually because I ended up getting white paint in a lot of areas that were blue, and this happened multiple times. I got really annoyed because once I thought something looked perfect, I noticed that it actually went in through another crease. So there is a little circle right there in the middle. That's what the neon green is for. It's kind of a little light that's inside. That was really tough to paint as well, but I was actually able to complete it with a couple different tries. And the neon look actually made it look like it was glowing. So I have a couple more touch-ups, but this is almost the final gun. I will have a part 2, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying on and watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to continue watching more items like this. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.